So, here we go. As we all know, there was a movie that came out recently. It's a little superhero movie. I kind of forget the title of it. Somebody want to give me a hand? What was the name of this movie that came out?
This is Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
Okay, so Wakanda Forever. So, spoiler alert: if you have not seen the movie, you need to pause. You need to go to
Yeah.
another podcast. Well, no, don't go to another podcast. Just put this on mute for a second, and then I'll give you a thumbs up when it's time for you to tag back in. So we're going. I mean, I'm sure everyone has saw it except me. So we're going to get everyone's thoughts,
I'm gonna go first.
reviews.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go
Ant, go
ahead.
first.
I'm gonna go first.
Okay.
So going into this movie, I was expecting a lot.
Okay.
The best thing they did in this movie to me was uh, give the ending to Chadwick Boseman the way close that part of the chapter of Black Panther off
Right.
and go on to the next. After the first 10 minutes of the movie, I could have went home and not watched nothing else.
Oh wow.
It took too long, not enough action. I don't like the way they went with the storyline and me and my son was totally felt like we was kind of disappointed. We wasted 2.5 hours.
Wow.
That's just my opinion on it. I feel like this was the beginning to try to set up future Black Panther, and I think those are going to be better. But for me, the initial setup of how they're trying to set up the new Black Panther and her new rivals, the villain that they're going to keep for the future, so they can make more movies. I think future movies is going to be better than this initial. It took a lot to unwind the old and start with the new, and it don't follow no comic because nowhere does T'Challa die that quick. They never got a chance to really get into him, so they just moved this up. I mean, it was 2 hours of a prequel to get you ready for the future Black Panther 3, 4, and 5. That I hope that'll be better.
Okay.
Whoa, I wasn't expecting that. Someone with a thumbs down on Wakanda Forever?
What's your thought, Jared?
The pacing was excellent. The story was excellent. The villain was excellent. It was a great movie to me. It didn't feel like 2.5 hours. It felt like rather it just flowed. It just flowed. It was a good movie to me. I didn't have any problems. I give it 2 thumbs up.
So I love the
Hold on,
movie.
hold on. Can I comment on that?
Go ahead.
But Jared, don't you feel like they started 3 or 4 different plots in a movie, but they never finished it? They got 3 or 4 plot lines going, and they really didn't finish. They just introduced. It took them 2.5 hours to introduce a villain. They got defeated way too easy after you made him so big. The kind of, I mean, it took so long to get there, and then there wasn't no action to go with it. It didn't make you cry. It didn't make you do nothing. After the first 10 minutes, you just die. You muted, Jared.
I like how they introduced the villain. Spoiler alert: when they attacked that ship, they were singing the song, getting people to jump off the ship. I think the way they introduced Namor, or AKA the Submariner, Mariner, was good. I like the villain. I was a little uncomfortable at some parts because I was in a theater full of Latinos or Hispanics. I'm not sure what's politically correct.
Watch
Black and
yourself. Watch
Latino.
yourself now.
Yeah. I don't want to Kanye myself. but I was in a respectfully in a theater full of half black and half the crowd was Hispanic, and it was like a race war in the movie going on up until they squashed it at the end. I liked it. Let me get to your point, specifically your point. They did have a lot of different storylines going that are going to set up a Disney TV show, from what I hear. They're setting up Black Panther 3. They're setting up the next Avenger movie. So, but this is what the Marvel movies do. They splinter off and have these different plots and storylines going that always end up, in the next movies. So, I don't have an issue with it. I liked it. It's way better than the first Black Panther.
So let me jump in. Let me jump in.
Ooh.
Let me jump in and say this. You have Black Panther, you have Captain America, you have Iron Man, and you have Thor. If you erase any one of those guys from their movie, you have no movie. Black Panther is the only movie where you can take the main star and continue the storyline. If you remove Iron Man from Iron Man, you have nobody to carry that movie. The cast. Who in the Iron Man cast that can carry a movie?
Well, I'm just saying, it's just like they did with Black Panther. Iron Man's understudy is Falcon.
Man, Falcon, ain't nobody going to the theater to see that. They barely saw the TV. They barely saw the TV show on Disney Plus. So if you remove,
I'm barely going to see this.
If you remove Thor from Thor, nobody's going to the theaters to see a Thor movie without Thor. Nobody's going to the movie theaters. If you remove Captain America from Captain America, nobody's going to the movie theaters to see that movie without Captain America. The reason why Black Panther started off so well is because the movie started off with a prayer. Shuri is a scientist in the movie that didn't believe in the afterworld. So the first thing she did was pray to the goddess, the Black Panther goddess, to give her the strength to heal her brother, right? So you see that she failed at that. So that part right there was emotional because going into the movie, nobody knew how they were going to continue this storyline without Chadwick. That was actually real. So you have a real individual, Chadwick Boseman, that actually died in real life, and he's playing the lead actor in this movie. And that's how they dealt with that death, is that they used his real life situation. Go ahead, Ant. What you got a question on?
Why did they have to give it to the girl?
Because
I thought they had something when they had the other dude, Michael B. Jordan, come back. I said, now that would have been a twist, and Black Panther would have. I thought that would have made it better for me as keeping him as a male. Why did they put him as a female?
It happened in the comic books. Shuri took the mantle of Black Panther in the comic books. So that's not nothing new. And what she did, and what Ryan Coogler did a great job of, he took an individual who loved her brother but didn't have any faith in what their tradition was, right? So even her mother had a hard time trying to, calm her down and talk her through things. And she was more connected to her cousin Killmonger with the things that he did from the first movie of burning up the what I'm trying to say, the not the orb, but the plant that they used to get the powers for Black Panther. I like how they brought Namor. I like how Ryan Coogler introduced the mutants into the Marvel universes. For a long time, Marvel fans been waiting for the mutants to come into the MCU universe, and so they took the first mutant that's ever been written in the comic book and brought them in, and they couldn't do it how they wanted to do it because DC ripped them off and used Aquaman. So Aquaman has his own standalone movie, and Namor is really the leader of Atlantis. So they switched that storyline and made him the leader of this false world, Talokan, which is Aztec and all that type of thing. So that brought in a different culture right into the midst of Black Panther, which I thought was a great spin on things because you have Namor, who's a very strong character. I thought Shuri did a great job of acting. She was very emotional. She was very She had more hatred in her system. But in the end of the movie, I found myself being very emotional from the beginning of the movie to the middle of the movie to the end of the movie. I thought it was a great job. I thought the entire cast did a good job. At times, they had comedy in the movie that was very serious. I've never been to a movie theater for a superhero movie and I'm fighting back tears and stuff because it just emotionally, brought me in and stuff like that. I'm a fan. I grew up a fan reading the book and stuff like that. So I was always wondering how they was going to pull this movie off. And I thought Ryan Coogler and the entire cast did a great job. And they have multiple setups. I like the introduction of Riri Williams. I thought she was very funny. That's the new Ironheart TV series that's going to be coming on Disney Plus. The young lady, I can't think of her name right now. I want to say her name's Victoria that played the Agent Ross' wife. She's like the leader of the Thunderbolts and stuff like that. So that's another spinoff they got. Okoye probably has a spinoff coming on Disney Plus, a Black Panther spinoff coming that Ryan Coogler will be directing. I know it's going to be a good job. Like I said before, you can't remove the main character from any of those other Marvel movies and think you're going to get a good script or a good movie like what happened to Chadwick and Ryan Coogler and the Black Panther family. I thought for everything that he had to work with, he did an amazing job, and he turned, lemons into lemonade. I thought he did an amazing job, and I'm going back again tomorrow and next week. So
you finna see this movie for a second and third time?
So yeah, this is what I do. I support it each week, and I do different theaters and I do big screens. So first week I went on the 10th of November. I did the IMAX. Tomorrow I'll probably try to do the X theater, which I think is bigger than the IMAX. So it's
so what are you looking for a different experience each time, or?
So that's how you could tell that that's how you could tell that when I like something, I like it. And I could tell if it's good or if I'm on a high. You know what I'm saying? Like the first Black Panther. When I went to see it the second time, I didn't think that I would like it as good as I did, but I did. I saw more things that I didn't see the first go around. You know what I'm saying? And so I want to see if that emotional effect is still going to be there. I like this. So it's things I want to break down,